Every Farthing Publications presents Maps.
What is a pedophile like? Now, that's an interesting question. If you believe what you read in the media and popular magazines and so on, then you know that the pedophile is a scumball, a lowlife, a subhuman monster. All in all, he's a really creepy guy. He's the sort of guy that will grab your 4-year-old daughter and whisk her away to the woods where he will rape her and kill her. Well, now, if that's what a pedophile is like, that's pretty bad. I mean, you don't get much worse than raping and killing children. But the term hasn't always meant that. It comes from the Greek, the term pedophile. The ped part comes from a Greek word meaning child, and the phile comes from philia, which is a Greek word for friendship or for love, I suppose. So the pedophile, from their point of view, was somebody who loved children or who was a friend of children. So that's a very different take on the term. Possibly the term has become used in so many different contradictory ways that it's no longer really a useful term at all. Social scientists want to say that a pedophile is somebody who's attracted to prepubescent children. And they have other terms for being attracted to pubescent or postpubescent teenagers. That's very different than either the Greeks would have done or what you find in the current media. So maybe we just have to toss the whole term out as no longer having a viable meaning. And we could replace it with the term MAPS, M-A-P-S, which stands for minor attracted person. A MAP is a minor attracted person. Even here we get into some difficulty. What do we mean by a minor? Do we mean anybody who's below the age of consent? Well, the age of consent in the United States is 18. So are we to include any male that's attracted to either females or males up to the age of 18? That would be pretty much all males, or at least the vast majority of males who are not asexual. They're would be attracted to somebody in that range, I would think. So then the term MAPS, or if we keep the older term pedophile, it simply means men. Well, that doesn't seem very useful either. So let's redefine the term MAP and say that it means a person who is an adult who is attracted to people who have not yet reached physical sexual maturity. For example, a boy who doesn't have any facial hair yet. So that is what we could mean by MAP. Somebody who's attracted to people who are considered below the age that any adult male should be attracted to. So what can we say about these people? What are they like? Let's see if we can get at this issue, approaching it with a more familiar group of people. Let's take heterosexual males. Suppose we ask, what is a heterosexual male like? Well, there are heterosexual males that rape women, that kill women and beat children and do all kinds of things that are reprehensible, but actually most men are not that way. Most men are fairly decent human beings who try to do the best they can to be considerate of other people, They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but most men are not monsters. Um, the truth is, men come in all sizes, shapes, and characters. Some are great, some are Republicans, some are Democrats, some are anarchists, some really friendly, outgoing ones, some introverted ones, and so on. You really can't generalize about what a heterosexual man is likely to be like. So what about, let's take another group, mothers. What are mothers like? Well, there are mothers that kill their children, uh, mothers that torture their children, mothers that neglect their children, don't really want to have anything to do with them, that would rather be doing anything other than taking care of their offspring. But that isn't the majority. The majority of mothers do the very best that they can given the economic and social constraints of their situation. They're decent human beings, just like men are mostly decent human beings. Um, and you can't really generalize that much about them. I mean, there are introverted ones, timid ones, very bold ones, Republicans, anarchists, the whole range of any, with regard to any trait that you might want to mention. So you can't really say a woman or a mother is this way or that way. Um, Studies show that precisely this same thing is true of maps. They really don't have a set of characteristics that is common to all of them. Now, in the media and even by psychologists and so on to some extent, if they don't really pay attention to the actual data, some of these will tell you that the map, or they may still use the term pedophile, is violent, selfish, that they lack empathy, they're sociopathic, devious, delusional, and so on. Well, certainly some maps are all those things, just as some heterosexual males are, or some mothers are. But the studies show that none of these characteristics are particularly none of these characteristics define this group, this map group, any more than they define heterosexual males or mothers or any other grouping of human beings that you might want to look at. So if we ask the question, what is a map like? Um, we just have to say, well, not like anything in particular, just the same range of characteristics that any other group of people have.